Ivanka Trump holding a summit at the White House today on human trafficking. The timing of the summit is critical. This as human trafficking runs rampant during the Super Bowl weekend, more so than any other time in this country. Now, despite the efforts, many anti-human trafficking groups actually snubbed this summit. They called it a photo op. Now, I can tell you, I watched some of the event today, and I was choked up by the breadth of this crisis, but also the stories of those who've actually been saved. Joining me now to discuss Trump 2020 senior legal advisor Jenna Ellis. Jenna, you know what? I watched some of it as much as I could. The young lady who came up, she's got some of her kids back. They're in rehab. She's working. But also, I don't think America understands just how big of a problem this is.
Oh, 100%, Charles. And, you know, this is something that is so prevalent in America and across the world. But even here in America, I mean, we tend to think that this is something that maybe just happens in other countries, but it is a $30 billion industry here in America. Corporations are involved. The Super Bowl every year is one of the largest events for sex trafficking. And so to have this and highlight this going into this weekend, I think is really critical because the administration is putting a priority not only on the pro-life march that President Trump attended a couple of weeks ago, but now with signing this executive order, he is specifically saying and asserting that the administration is prioritizing the value of human dignity and that every life is made in the image of God and therefore has inherent dignity and worth. And to push back on people who say this was just a photo op, absolutely not. This was an opportunity for those who are deeply involved in this issue. And I used to be a prosecutor. I'm actually a survivor of sexual assault myself. I know how important this is to all of the women out there who are survivors and all of the people. I mean, this isn't just a women's issue, but for every single person who has ever been a victim, this is a chance to stand up and say that doesn't define us. And for President Trump to be there and to attend to sign this executive order to prioritize the eradication of sex trafficking is absolutely huge. And he's doing that in the midst of impeachment.
I want to ask you about that, Jenna. Senate Republicans now, it looks like, have the votes to essentially end this impeachment effort sometime tonight. So what happens after that?
Well, I think that the Senate Democrats are going to try to put as much breath and life into this absolutely dying sham as they possibly can. So we are all hopeful that the Senate will have a backbone and a spine and will actually end this as soon as possible, hopefully today, and fully exonerate and acquit President Trump. That's the end result here. It's a full and complete acquittal. But whether or not that happens today, tomorrow, or next week is just going to depend on how much the Democrats
Jenna, I got less than 30 seconds, but Senator Alexander essentially saying he thought there was a quid pro quo, but that the American people should be the ones who decide if President Trump stays in office or not. I mean, it obviously a no vote from the witnesses helps President Trump, but do those comments, do they become fodder during the election?
Well, you know, not at all, because President Trump is running for re-election. And again, just like we've highlighted, he's done so much on behalf of the American people, and the American people support him. I was with him at the rally last night, the high energy and positivity. He's absolutely headed to re-election. And so this impeachment charade has just been to try to scare you and me from not voting for him. That's not going to happen, and this needs to end now. And I think that it will. Senators just need to have a backbone and say this stops. It's unconstitutional. The uncontested facts also show that.
All right, Jenna, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.